Well guys, I'm down here in the corner. It's a different day than the video. I couldn't get down here, it was too wet. It's somewhat froze now, so I got down here. And to say this has been a challenge to find, because the fence, as you can see it, is over there. Now, I'm on the neighboring property to do this, so don't get your panties in a bunch. But I had gone, you can kind of see up there past that tree I'm pointing at there, this way in the fence line about a foot from the fence, checking. And the same here, because it went around the backside of this tree, it's on the backside of those trees down there, it's on inside of that big maple. So I went through here with a shovel looking for the pin. Couldn't find it. The hunters came down one day. Well, it was after they were done hunting, and we got talking about it. And the boy said, well, I'll find it on my phone. So we come down here, and lo and behold, we found it. Yeah. Surprise, surprise, it's not where I thought it was going to be. After checking from there all the way up to the tree up there, and now this is going by what the website shows as the property line. It shows it being down here. So, no. Actually showed it up this way, and being that the end up there was off as far as it was, the point back there in the corner of the woods behind the barn, figured this has got to be about that far off. Now mind you, I was going by where I thought the fence was. Now this was surveyed in 1989. So finding this pin down there, now I figured was going to be a million to one shot of finding it, because you know it's had 30 years of debris over top of it or more. But we found it just a foot or so farther, well, foot and a half, 2 foot farther over than we thought it was. Just nailed this post in the ground and painted it, because I always figured it was somewhere along the lines of this tree. And you can see right over there, there's a fence post I'm pointing at. See it there, that was put in by the previous owner. And from what I can gather, if I go from here to it, I'll end up just a few feet in front of my truck. So it's not in the right place. But I can cut that elm out and start getting a straight line of sight up through there. At least that's my plan. Yeah, I was a bit surprised to find that pin there. And it was kind of in that as soon as we found it, we knew what it was, because you're not going to find a piece of 1/2-inch rebarb in a random place at all. You're just not going to do it. Not in a fence row like this, you know. You're just not going to do it. Boy, that tree is in bad shape over there. Huh. But now I know proof positive where this is, Now, I can start getting a better idea this way of where the line is. Hang on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, grab my stuff here. Get back across no man's land. Now, with that said, I can now get this corner cleaned up. And it really does need to be cleaned up, because we're probably a good, from there out there, 50 feet anyway, and it needs to be cleared. So this might turn into a cousin bring your backhoe over and we're going to clean this up, get this all grubbed out, and then I'm going to start. You can see that post standing there. There was a plowed ditch down through this, supposed to have been on the line. Now I can see another post up there, and to drain the field into this, I want to get this straightened up. But you can see where he kind of plowed right there. There's a hump, and he plowed around. Well, it's filled in. You can see it's kind of got a hump right there, and it's never been done correctly. I'm a good 30 feet from where that comes out now over to the line. So this area needs to get cleared out. I doubt if I'll be able to do anything with that big pin oak, but it may get cut down. A bunch of this is going to get cut out. It doesn't need to be here, and all it's going to do is make this corner wetter and wetter. And if I'm not 100% proof positive sure, I think there is a spring in here. There's a post laying right there. There's a post there. And I see one on up. So what I really need to do is get not a survey, as much as a line marker, so I know where these points are actually at. Because you can obviously see this was a dead pro right here. There's a post, there's a post, there's a post pushed over. We're kind of in line with that tree down there, but anything on this side, if it doesn't get shoved out, it'll be cut down. At least that. Same way with going up through here. If it's on my side, it's gone. But like I say, I would like to own the all this strip over here off the back and side of this field. It's 155 feet, and it basically runs, let's see. If you ever come across something like this where you see bent over fence post and you see a tree rub like that, it's deer rubbing on those posts, bending them. The 155 feet mark is about where that tree is out there. Now it's not a lot of ground, but That would give me the ability to get rid of this mess completely. 100% get rid of it. And that also will help me to keep hunters out of my woods. Kind of like I said earlier, with her, the lady what owns this, or I think owns it, up there in said house, she can tell somebody, as I said earlier, they can hunt her woods, which is the corner up there behind the barn. That little corner. But if you know most hunters as well as I do, they're going to go wherever they want. Just the way it is. Now this line, you can still see it, it's a plowed ditch in there. It's supposed to be on, that's the line. Well, it's not. It goes kind of back and forth. Down at the far end down there where that stake is, it's on our property. And you get up through here, it's on theirs. And I've done my best. Now there's a post right there that a tree has grown around. You can see that? So basically it's on the hump here on this side, and it looks like this side down that way is plowed that way. Over up here it looks like it was plowed this way. But oh, what's this? Medicine pending doom. I guess the deer pushed it over. But somewhere over there, in there, should be some post. Yep, I see one. Right over there. In fact, might as well just go ahead, go over there and paint it so I can see it easier. I'm standing on what should be the dead man end of the fence. Well, part of it anyway. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of funny. There it is. Well, at any rate, let me paint some posts. We'll be back. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I've painted right here. I've made some interesting finds while being back here. Really haven't been back in here for a good while. I don't know where the ladder came from. Good post. And there's another one. Pick up. Oh, that's an old post. Old post. Huh. bolted or riveted on. And it's made like alligator teeth up it. That's very strange. Old post for sure. Whoops. At least I know where there's a couple at. There's some big, yeah, hunks of metal rod off a dead man laying here. Got a chunk of steel on it. And this one just bent all to pieces. Good to know I got those and where they're at. But as you can see, well, there's another post. No, thought it was. There ain't been nothing done back here in years. I would really like to get this all opened up and cleaned up. That's a big dead ash. Get this cleared up in here. It's kind of a, now there's a deer stand over there, and I know there's one right in here someplace around me. But I don't know how I'm going to do these videos. I may do this as a several parter. I remember doing something. Yeah, those are the posts that he brought back and laid here. Was going to put more posts in. Standing up, it's still there. Laying down, they rotted to nothing. That's funny. But you kind of go roughly where these are at. And they're not placed. There's a few posts I have put in here. There's a whole bunch that the former owner put in, and I'll bet you that ain't nowhere near right. Yeah, it's close. That next post is leaning in, but I see pink up beyond that wood post, so it's pretty close. I just need to go from here that way to know where everything is. Oh, the joys of owning property. That elm, or is that a locust? Can't tell. Looks like a locust, but that don't mean nothing anymore. Well, guys, I'll be back here in a minute. I'll catch up with you up at the end of the field up there to talk about a few things more in the video. So hang on, we'll be back. Well, hi guys. Today is the 8th of January. It's Friday. I've gotten up the upper end of the field to find this point. Now, according to the map, it says stone found. Now, the corner back there, from where the fence is to where the pin is, about 1.5 feet, 2 foot. And when you get up here, the fence to this point, you can see it attached to this elm tree right here, runs, well, there it is, between the trees. But according to the aerial map, the fence line is around the top of the tree, around the bottom of it. It's grown up through it, but the fence is about right here on the back side of those big trees ahead. And if you go this way, it should go straight on through, but it doesn't. The property line goes straight on through. The old fence went this way because of this creek. It isn't much of a creek, but it is. So, let me get over here and do some looking and, whoa, see what I can find. So, I'll be right back. Hang on. Well, after about an hour, I found it. It is a stone. And there's a dead man in a post. At this exact point, the fence has a different angle on it. It's straight from here back through there. There's a couple of fence posts right here. They're laying over, but they're there. Fence is here. This is the only rock I can find, and that's what the survey said in it, rock found. So I drove an old T-post in the ground. I painted it pink, painted the tip of the rock pink, painted the dead man pink. Now, it's not, this is what I call not an exact pinpoint, because you can't, you know, it's a rock. You know, is it this way? Is it that way? Is it this way? Is it that way? But it is at a point. So, the only hope is that that is straight up and down. Couldn't get the T-post any farther over that way. The only way it would go in is right there. So, it is a general mark. But if you stand here and look that way, where that big tree is, if this upper part of this fence is off like it is in the back, it probably goes right through the middle of that pin oak right straight in front of us there. So that's a good 30 feet over to where that other fence is. So at least I did find it. And I have found the one up on the point. We'll get there next. But at least this point here is known. It is marked with a stake now. I'm standing on the neighbor's property, Forsty's farm right there. This belongs to the person I know owns this. I know them. Don't know them personally, but I know them. But having this marked now makes things so much simpler. Now I can say I can get a marking crew in here. I can bring a chainsaw in and cut brush out straight in front of me that way. And they can drop pins every so often. But that's in the ground now. I know where it's at. Yeah. But at this line, this fence comes straight to this point, then takes a slight angle this way. And I mean slight, it's slight, but it's enough that, you know, you can see it on the survey map. It's not straight. So I had a hope that there would be a wood post set up here, and apparently I was right. There should be another wood post remains right in there, because there is a brace cable, brace wire, whatever you want to call it, run that way for an end post. So we know where this is at now. So we'll be back here in a bit, guys. Hang on. Okay, this one. It says there's a rock here. The rock was found in 1989. I cannot find a rock, but I have found the remnants of a fence post, corner post, because on that tree there is fence attached to it, and there's fence laying right in here. So that fence line is roughly right there. Oh yeah, you guys know what that lovely stuff is. Crabapple. Glad it's over there. Now, something really interesting. I don't know how this happened. You see those two limbs coming up? They almost look like they've been grafted on it. But this gets kind of the final point as far as the back of the woods, back corner, back in the little field, the corner down here, this corner, and the ones up by the road. I know right where they're at. So that's no big deal. I've got that whipped. I would have liked to have found the stone here, but it is nowhere to be found. I've taken a shovel and kind of probed around this whole area for it. Can't find the stone. But there is the remnants of a fence post right there. And I can see that it was about 6-8 inches in diameter. So put a broom handle in the ground for now, but I know where it's at. So that being said, and I know this may sound dumb, but you look where that is to the field where I can do anything with, and it's like this big monstrosity of a pin oak. It needs to come down. It serves no purpose being here, and that's a pretty good sized tree. You know, give you kind of a size comparing. That's just a regular old shovel. So it gives you an idea how big it is. Nice big locust right there. That makes some nice lumber. And there's a bunch of trees just like this one. I cut one down, just down the fence just a little ways. It was on our side. That was as big as, not quite as big as this one, but it had a limb. It was leaning just like that. Had a limb that went straight out to the field about 40 feet, and then it turned up and had at the top a straight log, limb, log, whatever you want to call it, going straight up. And You talk about a son of a gun to figure out how to cut now, that was it. Because you know it's going to go that way, no matter what. And the way the limb had grown, it had gone out about 30 feet and then bent and went this way. So it was going to go down, the limb would hit, then it was going to go over. And was as much lean. It had a little more lean than this one does. And that's probably 4 or 5 feet and all your weight out there. There ain't no safe way to cut this tree. I can tell you that right now. You can wrap a chain around it, you can do whatever you want, but it's going to barber chair, I guarantee you. But at any rate, we're going to call it a day here, guys. I've got these marked. They're painted, they're marked. I know where they're at. Now I can get a not a surveyor, but a surveyor to mark the lines, which is a lot cheaper than having it surveyed. Yeah, so this is going to be the next step in this project, is to find that person and get these lines marked. Whether it be every 50, 100 feet, 75, 100 feet, it doesn't matter. They just need to be marked so I know what's mine and where. At any rate, guys, I'm going to walk back to the truck and call it a day. So we'll see you next time. And as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.